What is going on, everybody? I am Matt T. Vogt, and we are back. This is Let Me Talk to You. And today,
what's the rest? What do we do on this show? I'm not editing this out either. Okay, hey, all right, look, I take responsibility for him being rusty because we haven't recorded in, 2 months? Since I moved to Florida?
Yeah. No? Yeah? Yeah, no. Wow, that was Midwest. Super Midwest.
That was. You just said absolutely nothing at all, but I know exactly what you meant.
Straight facts.
Yeah.
This is Let Me Talk to You, a podcast where I find business owners who are changing, growing, and evolving their area of industry. And if you listen closely, you might figure out how to do it yourself too. So today, finally back in the studio. I got my man Murph here. Finally back. Decided he wanted to actually record an episode. I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but
Excuse you?
Here we are.
I finally decided?
Jeez, Murph, what the fuck?
Okay, first of all.
The people need content.
First of all, every single time I have come home, I have said, and it's my third time home since I left initially 2 months ago?
Probably.
Okay. I have been like, yo, what are we doing? And you're like, well, shoot, brother, we'll figure it out when you get here.
Well, to be fair, it is hard to line up guests.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, though, like,
everybody's got their schedule going on.
Yeah.
And then you have a pretty fucking hectic schedule when you come back in.
Yeah. So by the time I leave again, which will be tomorrow, it's actually why I started the thing out with the Jason mask on, because when this airs, it'll actually be Halloween. So that was not for nothing. And the hat is because I voted today, and it also said so right here. But
oh yeah, let's
we'll get into that.
Okay.
But like, so I mean, I got here 2 nights ago. What was it? And by the time I leave, I'll have either videotaped or edited like over a dozen podcasts. Like I shot 11 with one group of people over the last 2 days. We'll shoot 3 before I leave, and I'll edit 2 total before I go.
Sounds like a hell of a lot.
I mean, dude, it's what I signed up for. And I just want to call it back to like the first episode we ever did where like, yo, we really like took what Andy said for granted. And I would like to double down on that. We really took what Andy said for granted. At least I did.
No, without a doubt.
I'm just going to switch hats now.
You're constantly moving when you're doing this stuff. And people don't even realize that. And I was actually talking to a customer today about her putting up a fence, and then she added a bunch of stuff. She wants to redo the interior of her garage and all that. And I'm like, look, she's like, well, I'm in a rush. I want it done by, next month. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm like, I'm booking until February now. I'm like, however,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, however, at this moment, you're the only person holding it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you pay me.
You have to like
traction starts fucking rolling.
Well, I mean, it's like you're giving me something that requires urgency with late notice. Like that doesn't work for just about anyone. And if I have to then qualify what is my time worth, it's the object of scarcity. It's like, well, if I have less of something, it's worth more to me. So if you need this done by next month and it's going to take me pushing back jobs, you better be willing to pay that income to me. That's
exactly it. Which, she's a realist. Yeah. I made her see it from my viewpoint, and she was very eased when, I brought it down to a very simplistic level. I'm like, you really don't have that much to do. Don't worry about paying for everything right off the bat, because all she could see was the big number floating.
Yeah.
She's like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for this, that, and the other? Like, obviously she has the money, but like still significant amount of money. We're talking 30 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So
shit.
That's a big number.
You want some media work done?
Right. All in all, she's a good customer, but it just goes to show that you're constantly moving, and people need to not only respect your time, but that's again, to fall back on what we were originally talking about. That's why, although, yeah, I want to get a podcast in, but I also know that you come back for a very particular reason. And I myself can work myself to death. And when I get to a point where I know I'm not going to do my best quality work, I just shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell when you're dogged. So I don't expect you, although you would want to, I do not expect you to work under those circumstances because that's not good for me. That's not good for the podcast. That's not good for you. It's just not good for anyone.
It's always going to be that never, and this has gotten so much worse since I have started my own business, but like, even when we were kids, I had like this overwhelming sense of just anxiety and guilt for no good reason. And if I wasn't doing X, then I felt like I needed to feel anxious or guilty about everything. And, you know, our agreement on your podcast is something that's important to me because we both run multiple businesses. We're both property owners. I've lived with you now multiple times, and it's always gone over really, really well. It's not because of anything other than that relationship is important to me. And especially like the education we got working for Andy was that when you show people they matter to you, it goes a long way. And that's why when I come home, trying to prioritize you, trying to prioritize the Zach and Pat show, which they don't even need me to be there, but like, and I want to shout out them real quick because they're doing really great. Like their episodes have been really, really good. And, you know, they're handling it on their own and they've come a long way. We almost have 100 episodes in on that one. You know, some other people too. I never want people to think that like I forgot about St. Louis just because I don't live here. Someone also was like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna move away and like wear all the fucking Miami colors and wear all this fluorescent shit and have your fucking chest hair out." I'm like, if you think I'm not gonna wear like a majority of black and like snapbacks every day, you're out of your mind.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why when I was walking out, I was like, "Fuck." I could get him down there, probably. You know what I mean? Although it was my job, but I care about you, so I wanted to make sure that, you know, I wanted to figure it out. And just like you said, you felt a level of anxiety. And Taylor just wanted to make sure, you know, this is your home too. And we want you to feel as if it is as well. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, I'm very comfortable. If you don't think I'm not comfortable around you, like this is my home, I'm not doing a good job being comfortable.
Oh no.
Anything short of walking around naked, I'm pretty comfortable. Which I mean, admittedly, like when you guys aren't around, like I do.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Like I look both ways before I like walk out and go to the bathroom. Like
you look both ways before you cross the street.
Jaywalking.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, man. Sorry to reveal that, but like, here's the fucking truth,
bro. I fucking knew it before you even said it.
Bet you did too.
Well, fuck yeah, every fucking man does it, and I'm almost certain every woman does it. Like, who doesn't walk around their house naked?
Honestly, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of my friends in South Florida, I originally wanted to live with. Their big thing about like why I couldn't live with them is because they're like, look, man, we're not gonna lie to you. Like, we're so comfortable with each other. Like, we'll straight just like walk around in our underwear or naked, and like, you could stay here, but like, we're not willing to change that. I was like, okay, because you know what, me either.
That's fair. You
gotta have an understanding with people.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So, how's your transition to Florida been? It's a fucking chicken.
Dude, it's so different in so many ways because like South Florida has such a unique personality, and being South St. Louisans, St. Louis in general is very unique. There's nothing else quite like it. I've always joked there's like equal bits of like Chicago, Memphis, and New Orleans whenever you like break down the culture of like what St. Louis is, but like South Florida is just South Florida. Nothing is like it. There's no bits and pieces of it. It's more fast paced in a lot of ways than when I was here last. Like when I was living here, I was having a problem having more time than I knew what to do with. It's not like that down there. I'm constantly doing something now.
Yep.
And it's been partially because I had to get back into like the mindset of going out and prospecting for business, like having just first interactions with people and trying to give them my best.
Mm-hmm.
My friends have been really good about getting the word out about me, and I've worked with some really great people, some folks that are just like our age and who are worth like hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm like, and they're totally regular people.
Right.
And just to kind of see that different culture and be immersed in it, I still kind of feel like I'm in vacation mode. Not because like I'm chilling or taking it easy, but like every day I wake up and I look outside and I see palm trees and sunny weather, like this little man-made water area right outside my door, and I'm like, I still can't believe it's real.
It's fair. Well, it sounds like you're doing well then.
I mean, dude, it's also a shit show.
Well, hey, I mean, that's entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
in a fucking hole.
A big piece of that is like I've talked to like multiple people about multiple different things, and like a good friend of mine, Bobby, he was like, dude, what did you do your first year of business? I was like 55,000. He goes, bro, my first year of business I did 14. And now he's doing like 250 a year, and that's great. And he just works basically by himself. But like, even so, like
income or total
revenue, but he's got so many different businesses and like knows the system and is very, very savvy. And then like one of these other people who I talked to, I got connected with who, you know, I want to start getting more into like the real estate investing space. That's something you and I have always talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about my financials to like get approved for like financing. And he was like, so how much debt do you have under your personal name? He saw a figure for like a credit card that was like 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, so you're doing all this stuff and that's all you got under your name right now? And mind you, like that was all that came up on my report, but like there was definitely more than that. Like my car, my student loans, I have other credit accounts open. It's like, but this is all I can see. Do you know what a small percentage of people can only say that? The fact is, if you have more, it's a little different than someone like me being able to see it. And so those two things like really were like, even though I feel like I haven't done shit, it's like I can tell progress is being made.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, it's the debt thing's wild to think about. One thing I pride myself on, my only debt, period, is this house.
I can't say that.
That's
and I wish I could.
Well, I mean, it's give and take. I don't utilize my credit cards properly like a lot of people should. Like you and Trey, for instance. You guys utilize yours in a certain way that benefits your business. I should probably do that.
Yeah.
But I have this overwhelming feel of I fucking hate debt.
I do too.
But I know debt's a good thing at the same time.
It's
what kind of debt matters.
Yes, but it's how you use it. Because let's say you're going to get a hard money loan. The agreement to that is, I mean, over time, straight up like extortion, but like you're taking a chance.
Right.
If this outcome, which should get the lender paid, like, look, you're taking a risk lending me money. I'm taking a risk on the project and giving you a return. Make your money. Like everyone needs to get paid. Everyone wins. The upside for you on that property could stretch eons, 7, 8, 9 figures. And I mean, I wouldn't have the equipment I have, wasn't for debt. I wouldn't be able to both pay my bills and enjoy some time getting, because like, dude, I don't do anything for fun really. I know that sounds really depressing, but like everything I want to do, I can pretty much do for free. And then I
wouldn't say that. You live you probably do more fun shit than I do.
Well, like with the festivals, that's like a quarterly thing. Like I might go to a show, but usually like there's some kind of there's some kind of reason why I'll go. Like you might be on a guest list, or you might know a door guy, or, you know, you might only have to worry about paying for drinks and not actually the ticket. So all of these things go in. Like I know people who go out every single night and they can do that. But like me, like most of the things I like to do, I make videos about politics. I edit videos for myself and for others, shooting photos. Usually when I hang out with my friends, we're just like hanging out at their houses, like doing low expense shit. And so with the credit cards, man, it's just like, I realize that I'm taking a risk by doing it. And I also then sit back and remember a lot of people are living off credit cards right now. So like, I'm not outside the scope of people who need to use debt, but a lot of other people also just like to buy expensive shit for no good reason.
Yeah, I don't do that bullshit.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, the most expensive thing I bought were these shoes right here.
How much those go for?
$150.
Yeah, dude.
With like, that's with the shipping and all that shit.
Wherever my forces are, which, you know, I was off the Nike train for a really long time, but truth be told, like I buy a certain kind of shoe because I like the shoe and I will take care of it. Mm-hmm. I bought a pair of Forces when I was in Miami for Ultra right around my birthday, $115. That was the last pair of shoes I bought.
Yeah, I think this is the first pair of shoes I bought in all over a year. But and I bought them because they're wide-toed, they're flat, but they have the stability and everything of in the bend of a running shoe. So like I can squat in these. I don't have to deal with like how uncomfortable fucking Vans are and shit like that. I know people love Vans, but I hate squatting and walking and like Vans. And then what's the other?
If you use high top Vans for fitness, I think that's applicable. But like people will walk around in like the slides.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I've seen like people do like clean and jerks in those. And I'm like, how? That's so gross. Don't get me wrong. Like when I would squat and deadlift, I would try to do it barefoot as much as possible. Like a clean and jerk and like Vans, you're just kind of weird.
Hit 455 today.
That's fire.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I heard it this morning, but I was also dead tired.
Yeah.
Dog woke me up.
He does that to everyone. He's a prick. But I did it in these shoes. I was like, man, these are fucking nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm happy. But no. Yeah, I don't spend my money on stupid shit, dude. I feel like there's no need. I'm out building something. Like, I have different priorities and different goals. And don't get me wrong. People can live however they want. And people can spend their money how they want. And it's all the same to me. Like, let
me ask you this. What would you rather pay? Would you rather pay the goal is to pay neither, I think, in almost every case. But if you have to pick one, what would you rather pick? Interest on your financed expenses, or would you rather pay taxes to the government?
Interest.
Rationalize that for me. Because I think that's a really important thing to like get right for yourself. Not you, but like the person listening.
Interest, if used properly, like in Murph's instance, he is leveraging money for his business to buy things to make money. Taxes, just like general admission, is a communist scam.
Oh! Hell yeah, we got one. Oh, dude, I love how the whole general admission is a communist scam thing is picking up. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hey, come here.
My man.
Oh, my man.
Dude, it's so simplistic. And I think about this shit all the time. It's like, it was a 3% tax
on tea.
We fucking rioted over it and fucking declared our independence. What the fuck are we doing now? We're getting
now the first half of your day you work goes to the fucking government.
Yeah, we're literally if you accumulate everything, we're probably taxed almost 100% with death tax, sales tax.
I was gonna say death is the ultimate tax, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if I fucking die, my family has to fucking get taxed on money.
No, that's why you get an LLC on your name.
I know, but the general population isn't privy for all, right?
Yeah.
So, also, just a short little fact here. All these business owners that don't pay a single thing in taxes doesn't make them the fucking devil.
No.
It literally makes them strategic. It makes them smart. They're literally providing a service and benefiting from how the government who's bitching that they don't pay taxes, set it up. Why also that same government is utilizing that to essentially what I would suggest is stock fraud. Because why are people like Joe Biden, for instance, they're way worse people, but that motherfucker only makes $400,000 a year as quote unquote president. And somebody tell me that motherfucker's net worth. Yeah.
I think his reported net worth is somewhere around like 10 million.
And what's Nancy Pelosi's?
Oh, she just crossed like 275 million.
Right. So
this week.
That's what I'm saying. So they're pointing out, Trump, they're pointing out Elon, they're pointing out Bezos, they're pointing out all these big names, but everyone is forgetting that really, if the government wanted to do something about this, the government has ultimate control.
Yeah.
End of day, They have ultimate control. They could change the tax system at any time, but it's in their benefit to keep it the same.
Absolutely.
They're just leveraging the American idiocracy to form the idea that our hopefully next president is getting away with some scheme.
They really do rely on the ignorance of the American people. And it does always kind of go back to like, why were we taught what we were taught in high school? Like we took like what, a semester of like a civics class. And like, maybe like if you took accounting, you learned a little something. I remember some of that shit, but like.
Oh, personal finance with Dale Gegg.
Back in the day, man. But more to the point though, it's like the double-sided nature of the conversation is like, they will tell you that, oh, well, these people aren't paying their fair share. But it's like, well, okay, hold up. These people aren't paying their fair share and we're all suffering down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you're going to tell us the economy is great, but these people over here aren't paying their fair share, but they're still donating to your campaign. But the stock market's up, but prices are too high for us. Do you see why I have a problem with this?
And the biggest problem with is that this idea that they're coming out with, that they're going to tax the fucking rich. Because here's what's going to happen. The rich people that they tax, that's fine. If they want to tax them, kudos to you. You're going to tax them. Then these business owners are either going to close their doors or move their business. And then what's going to happen is they are going to go make money elsewhere. You guys are going to lose your fucking jobs. And then it's going to be a giant shitstorm.
Yep.
So with all that being said, is it really necessary to tax the rich?
And here's the other thing we got to remember too, is like how the code is written up is because being entrepreneurs, we contribute to the economy. Like we help stimulate growth in an economy. We are what is going to help move the engine of entrepreneurship. And the more good entrepreneurs that we have, the better the overall economy does. It allows for lower prices, allows you to create jobs, it allows you to make a better living. And for that, that's why we're able to write off expenses. But here's the overriding like mental shift. I think people who maybe get this conflated or confused, maybe it'll help. Because I'm no expert. I'm almost 2 years in. I would rather think, if I have to pay one or the other, look at the interest I pay is the person who's financing me getting their piece for taking a chance on me. You make partners with people who offer you credit. Like,
right.
I have a pretty good relationship with Amex. I'm not saying I'm rolling around in money from them, but like I've developed rapport with them. I have a lot of high credit limits with them. In the future, they'll probably be someone I do business with because I've been so good about paying them their money. I don't necessarily want to make a partner out of the government. The government, and Andy has said this on a number of occasions, it's like extortion. It's not theft, it's extortion.
Mm-hmm.
Pay us or else. Okay. I want less of that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are like, what was your favorite Donald Trump thing? And Ben Shapiro has this great bit. And he's like, one of my things about Donald Trump that I loved is that like he didn't do a whole lot. He actually had the government doing less. And guess what? Life was better.
When our founding fathers did all this, dude, it wasn't meant to be this controlling.
No.
Point blank. I mean, as simple as that. And now it's just rammed in our face and up our ass so hard that it's unruly. It's
oppressive.
Yeah. It's not necessary. So I think there's just every candidate has their good and their bad, man. And I don't know. At the end of the day, let me have my amendments. Let me have my freedoms. You know, let me pay less and make more so we can all thrive, right?
What do you think is going to happen
And what?
on election day?
Oh, Trump's going to win.
Yeah?
By a landslide.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't think there's going to be like late night ballot dumps or anything?
Well, I'm sure there will be something.
You think it's going to be too big to rig?
I don't know if it'll be too big to rig.
I'm getting the vibe.
I'd hope so. But, you know, history teaches lessons, man. So
I was living with you during the last election too.
Yeah. And I think Trump's going to win. And it's just crazy to me it's crazy to me. Whether I'm a pro-Trump person or not, they couldn't do any better than fucking Kamala Harris. She didn't receive a fucking single vote. How does that even stand up?
So they could have done better than Kamala Harris, but the unfortunate truth is twofold. Number one, as far as campaign finance goes, all the donations that Joe Biden had got and that were froze, like George Clooney was like, hey, I'm going to donate to you some money. And then he says, haha, psych.
They went to her.
It could only go to her. So she's gotten like over $1 billion in her war chest. Like her amount of donations clocks. If you want to give her some credit for something she's done well, she's taken in a lot of money. But it's because Joe Biden could only give that money to her. So that's number one.
Why couldn't Joe Biden give it to anyone else?
That's just the way that's written up as far as I understand it. The way that campaign finance law is written is that for all the donations Joe Biden was given, the only person who is able to receive it is his sitting vice president. He's got to remember, they didn't really have a real primary. They basically told everyone, you can't run.
Now, my question is...
There's also a second reason, though.
Is if Joe Biden was reelected, he could shift from Kamala, right?
I think so, but
I'm not going to. Is that possible? I really don't know that.
I do believe that between terms, if you're running for reelection, you might be able to switch out your candidate, but I just don't know if I don't know that. So again, speculate. But at the same time, I don't know if that's a good look because like they already had such shaky grounds that they were running on, which brings me to my second point. The big reason of why she was picked instead of Michelle Obama or Gretchen Whitmer, who's the governor of Michigan, Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California.
Fucking trash.
Absolutely. But she, I believe, was picked or at least endorsed by Joe Biden the way he was, not only for the campaign finance, but he really did want to stick it to Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Barack Obama for basically saying, hey, get with the program, old man, or we'll 25th Amendment you. And there goes any chance of your ego being validated by your legacy.
It's fair.
And, bro, they did their best to put lipstick on a pig, which I'm not calling Kamala Harris a pig, but I am saying that, like, you can't take someone who was this unlikable to the public, whose approval rating, I think somewhere, or at least favorability rating was somewhere in the high 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Joe Biden was at like the low 30s before he decided to get out of the race. You're in the low 20s on your own. Just because you take this person and hope, joy, turn the page, we're not going back. Like, everything people are unhappy about right now, you are tied to, and you've done a really bad job distancing yourself from it. That's noticeable. Politics is make it easy to vote for me and make it hard to vote for the other guy. Everything your side has done over at least the last 2 years has made it easier to vote for the other guy.
Facts. I mean, dude, what drives me crazy about her is when you're sitting there and you are asked a simple question of what, if anything, would you change?
On The View.
Yeah.
You literally...
And she didn't have an answer.
Like, you're on The View. Anything you say, they are going to, like, they're just going to support you. And it's going to be the most genius brat thing
she
ever.
Could literally have said anything.
She literally
I'm going to change the color of the White House.
She could have literally been like, I wish I would have played solitaire one less day per week. And they would have been like, man, that's a strong future woman president.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
Sonny Hostin also said that she's running a flawless campaign. And it's like, yo, that is what?
Did you hear that she, when she made a statement that when she picked Tim Walz, that she was sleep deprived?
Yeah.
Good look.
Dude.
Excellent fucking look,
bro,
man.
You know why I stay off Facebook? Because there are people on my Facebook who, like, obviously I have differences with, but, like, these are people who I really, like, operate with in college, and a lot of them still have their college mindsets. And I remember one dude going like, ugh, I'm so glad she picked him. And I'm like, what do you know about Tim Walz? What is there that you're over this excited about? And here's the thing, I really, because you know what, man, as much as it's easy to rag on the dude, there is a certain relatable kind of like, almost like uncle, grandfatherly, Midwestern quality.
No, without a doubt.
Effeminate, but like the part where he becomes too unlikable, and I'm referring basically to the debate, because like him and JD Vance had some good exchanges, and it could have been way uglier than it was. The thing I can't stand about Tim Walz, though, is that he tries to be the fake tough guy. And he'll talk about Elon Musk and you're like, there he is at the Trump rally, jumping around like a dipshit. It's like, that is the smartest guy probably alive. It is definitely the richest guy alive. Okay, Kamala Harris picked you because she couldn't pick Josh Shapiro because he didn't want to do it because he's Jewish. And also because, like, again, lipstick on a pig.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be that smart politically to like get a vibe off people.
No,
because you usually tell me like I'm the guy who inundates you with the most political shit.
Oh, without a doubt.
If you didn't, taking away like what you know and you were just really going off vibe test, what would you think of this whole? Like if those are your options,
the election,
yeah, those are your options. What's the vibe test? If you just surrender all thought, all feeling, just go.
It's Trump.
Analyze it though. Like, what are the feelings you would get from just hearing them for the first time?
Simply put, I think, without knowing anything, I think that although, to break it down, Trump, successful businessman, nuts.
But said some wild shit.
But in what I think is a good way. You have to be a little nuts to run a business and make it successful. You have to have a backbone. You have to be stern. And in the face of foreign countries, yeah, you're going to be fucking stern. You're going to say some outlandish shit because you're a fucking American. That's what we can do. Yeah. JD Vance is a good balance for him. He is super smart, super intelligent, very well spoken and well versed.
Calms the room down.
He does calm the room down. And Tim Walz is relatable. Yet I don't think he's educated on what America wants, but he does have a good track record. I mean, in as far as like campaigning or not campaigning, but like he does well in where he was in a sense.
I mean, there's a lot to dispute with him.
Well, there's a lot to dispute with everyone, I feel like, but this is just me at the very base level, right? As a very base level person, like you said. And then Kamala is just trash.
Yeah.
She's just, and it's not that she's even trash, dude. It's just, if I'm looking at it from a very outside perspective, and they just showed me random clips, and I had no horse in the game, right? And somebody said, Trump, what are you going to do? And then they said, what are you going to do? And she doesn't have an answer. That scares me. Why are you going to run my country if you can't even answer a simple question? I will say, maybe, I'll look at another clip and another clip, but every clip you look at, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Because people can get stage fright. People can get nervous, they can get scared, whatever. I'm not always the best, most well-spoken person, but she is consistently uneducated on either A, what America wants, or B, on what it needs. And that would make me nervous as a person. However, I don't know, man. I feel like there's pros and cons to every candidate. I do want to see, like, what, this may be reaching for you, but what would be a positive compared to Trump and JD Vance for devil's advocate? What would be a positive that Kamala and Tim Walz individually have? Because there's got to be something. I mean, is Kamala the donation? Like, is she that good at raising money?
The biggest thing that bothers me though is, when we were young, we grew up with George Bush as our president.
Right.
In our lifetimes is what, we were 8 years old. We were in third grade whenever 9/11 happened. That era is such I think an ugly chapter in our nation's just history. And it's because we put profiteering over the lives of people. We said that we were going to liberate and build democracies, and we were going to stop people who had weapons of mass destruction. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, those same people who are now out of government, and now Donald Trump has made the new face of the Republican Party something where it's likable again. It's not this faux patriotic forever war type shit. Those people, the Cheneys and the Bushes, mm-hmm. their families are coming out and endorsing her right now. So that is, I'm saying that is like a pretext of like, it's really hard for me to get around that. It's really hard for me to get around that. Minnesota, the way that Minnesota and the way that California ran their states during COVID, I have really big problems with that. But I'm trying to sit here and say something likable, and it's just like the only thing that maybe that you might think would be likable is that, like, I think people who take political news, which is entertainment news, especially on the leftist channels, no matter what goes wrong, they're probably going to have CNN and MSNBC telling them everything's okay. And if those people are calm and docile, I mean, at least we don't have to worry about them burning down the world. Even if the world around them is burning down, like, maybe they're going to be like, oh, well, this is okay. They just won't care. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I don't care what celebrities think. I don't like the monetary policy. I don't like the social policy in terms of how radical and how forced it is. I don't think they're believable. And you saw the look on my face. I was not trying to be cute. Like, I was trying to think of something.
No, that's fair.
Can you think of really anything? And if you do, I'm not going to call you stupid or anything. I'm really having trouble, bro.
No, I mean, I think exactly what you said earlier. Tim Wells is relatable.
In spurts,
but nonetheless, relatable, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I like the guy or I'd vote for the guy, but no, I mean, at the very...
When you heard his, like, kid had been through something.
Right.
Like, J.D. Vance wasn't faking the fact that, like, dude, all right, he means it. Yeah, he brings a little bit of like, he brings a little bit of sincerity, but she does not bring any.
She is a good fucking poker player. She may not have any fucking good cards in her hand, which obviously she doesn't, because she doesn't know what the fuck to say, but she is running with the fucking hand she has, right? I cannot say...
she didn't drop out. Okay. You know what?
I don't think you can say that's false. I mean,
yeah, she's rolling with the punches, but, like, I will not give her credit for being quick on her feet.
Oh no, I never said she was quick on her feet.
Okay, I thought you were saying, like, she was, when you say poker player, like, I thought you meant, like, she looked like she had her shit together when she clearly doesn't. That's what I thought you meant by that.
No.
Oh, you just meant, like, she's good at looking like we're doing our best, even though, like, obviously it's in shambles.
I could be sitting here with the shittiest hand, and I could just be fucking do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just fucking. It is what it is. I'm just gonna keep fucking smiling and cheesing and, you know, turning the fucking.
Do you see how hard I'm cringing right now?
Oh yeah. Hey, but I mean,
this is unforced.
It's the fucking truth.
That is.
It is the fucking truth, and you know what? It is what it is.
That's why I just keep saying Orange Man good everywhere I go. I'm trying to flip the script on that.
Orange Man good.
Orange Man good.
Orange Man is good.
Man is good. Hey, Orange Man good. I don't care if you don't like him. You don't have to like him. And you know what? If he gets in, looking directly at you, if he gets in, they're still gonna fuck with him. It's not gonna be a happily ever after for anybody. So why don't we all learn to get along? Like, stop letting the mean orange man run everything in our lives outside of politics.
You know what I respect about the Republican Party, or at least
This will be fun.
At least J.D. Vance, in particular,
Yeah.
is I saw a video of him, and he said, if you are in arguments with your best friends or your family, and you're putting politics over those relationships, you're wrong.
Yeah.
As to where you look on the other side.
The Washington Post and the LA Times didn't endorse Kamala. Unsubscribe, don't pay them anymore. I hope you go down in flames.
And they're calling us, garbage, and they're calling us Nazis and racists and all this stuff. And which it's so funny that they project that. It's just not the truth. You know what? As a matter of fact,
there's this reverse racism.
Our neighbors, Kamala Harris and Walz, that's who they're voting for. Best fucking neighbors I could ever ask for.
Yeah, I've talked to them. They're good people.
Amazing people. Dude. So this ideology that they're deploying in the narrative that they're deploying on the media, it's fake.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. I don't care if who they're voting for.
No.
Dude. It doesn't matter to me. But they are the best people, and they don't. I literally have a Trump flag flying from my back door, and guess what? We talk to him every day.
You gave me a Trump flag that hangs in my room now. Thank you.
You're welcome. It sits in, like, Taylor goes over there and watches their dog. Like,
that's what it should be.
Surprise America.
Yeah.
Republicans and Democrats or whatever party you're on, we actually don't hate each other. It's just being forced down our throats. One of our friends from high school, Kelly Roth.
Yeah. No, Kelly.
She even made a comment to me when she's like, Matt, I love your podcast. You know, you're doing good. She goes, obviously, you know, from listening to it, we have different political views, but, you know, it's good.
Good. If everyone believed what I believe, life would be really fucking boring.
Yeah, exactly.
And I never want to get it conflate. Okay, like, don't get me wrong. There's a stereotypical version of like what a radical progressive is. Mm-hmm. I genuinely like that stereotype. I genuinely dislike what that stereotype is. I don't think that if you're a Democrat or a liberal or inherently progressive, that you're a bad person. Mm-hmm. I will not call you a bad person for voting for Kamala Harris. I might disagree with you, but the only time when I will be flippant with someone is when I posted on my story the other night. The only time I'll be flippant with someone about my politics or theirs is when they try to shove something down my throat. There's, you know, you get these all the time, but usually it's from people you don't know. The problem is like when I know you and I have like rapport built with you, you mm-hmm. make it uncomfortable from a place of like, I can't express myself and you don't even know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Cause like, I'm too plugged in. I admit that. But if you're going to try to give me a talking point you saw on like syndicated television and you don't think that I've actually done the research to figure out what's the anti-argument, what are the flaws in your argument, I'm not going to have this big paragraphs back and forth with you in my DMs.
Right.
That's stupid. No, you're an annoyance to me. You're harassing. And it's that's the only reason why Donald Trump is winning right now.
Well, those are the people that take it.
Not the only reason.
Take it to the extreme, right?
True.
You know, there's extremes on Republican side and Democrat side. And there are people that they don't have anything better to do than just soak up all this energy. It gets a little excessive sometimes. And I think America just needs to be America. And at the very base level of this shit, I feel like what the idea of voting was supposed to be was as simple as people arguing over, oh, is Lord of the Rings better than fucking Star Wars, or is Harry Potter better than this and that or the other? At the very base level, it was just for people to converse and have an open discussion about their personal preference. And yes, your idea, I love country music. You like rap better, right? You like EDM more, right?
Yeah.
Open discussion. At the very base level, I feel like that's how voting was supposed to be. Now, we've gotten very far away from that, and I think that needs to change. I think everything needs to roll back about how it used to be. Quit overanalyzing, quit making things more complicated, quit making everyone your enemy. We're all friends. We're just trying to live our best life, be as healthy as we can, live as long as we can, spend it with our friends, spend it with our family, and just enjoy, right?
Yeah.
But we lost that somewhere. And I can't blame it on one party. I can't blame it on the other party. Because honestly, Murph, I think the party's flipped. In 2008, Hillary Clinton gave a speech. And she was the one sitting there saying, if illegal immigrants are found in this country, then what's going to happen? If they are found that they had done a crime when they're here, gone, without a doubt. They're gone. She said, okay, well, if they are found here illegally, and then they will pay back taxes, they will pay fines, and then they can stay here, right? You know, after they go through the educated system and they go through this and that and the other. And I respect that. I respect what she said in 2008.
Yep.
Now, the Democrats are saying, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. Republicans are taking almost the exact stance that Hillary took in 2008. And it blows my mind when I see things like that, because I don't know where everything flip-flopped Even like The View on the Joe Rogan podcast, he brought up The View.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump.
That's when it all flipped. So there's multiple answers to be discussed here. I don't think we'll have enough time for all of them. But so when you said 2008, that's a very interesting year because that's when Barack Obama won his presidency. We were like freshmen in high school. It was the back end of our freshman year. It was a really big thing. John McCain was just kind of a continuation of Bush and Cheney era policies.
Yeah, because we had Sarah Palin that year, right?
Yes. Which
the bridge to nowhere.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if
I can see Russia from my backyard.
Well, I can see Russia from my backyard. If there's a trend of unlikable, nasally women, well, we just named all three of them: Hillary Clinton, Sarah Palin, Kamala Harris, and a lot of people still like Sarah Palin. And you know what? She has her pluses, she has her minuses. Back in the day, she was kind of insufferable. If you didn't like her, you didn't like her, and it was just another reason not to like our man. I can't think of his name right now. John McCain.
Yep.
So the thing is that Barack Obama becoming president. It's his second term when he ran against Mitt Romney is when we started with all the hate and the vitriol. This is when Black Lives Matter happened just a couple years later. And he really started becoming kind of like the critical theory darling because like the media would never criticize him. This is the first black president.
Right.
CNN, MSNBC, they're going to wipe his ass. Fox is going to do everything they can to make him look bad.
I will say the best speaker besides maybe JFK. He's
an orator.
So good.
He's got swag.
He's so good at it, dude.
It's been so exposed now for what an unlikable creep he is, though. So, like, looking back, I just feel like I was sold some bad goods. But it is that second term. And look, when we look at what that second term was, I mean, like, okay, inflation was low with Obama. And he actually did deport a lot of people. And he actually did kill a lot of terrorists. He also liked to bail out banks. He also liked to blame things on racism. He also got us involved in a lot of different skirmishes. And to act like it was that great, because like someone brought this up. It's like people are like, oh, well, yeah, well, Trump inherited my economy and I was doing pretty good. Okay, well, why doesn't that logic stick with Joe Biden inheriting Trump's economy?
Because it doesn't fit them.
Exactly. The fact of the matter is that after 8 years of Obama, which really weren't that great, knowing that we didn't want to go back to John McCain, Jeb Bush, George Bush, Dick Cheney era Republicans, Donald Trump then stood up and said, I'm going to run for president. And at first, everyone thought it was cute. Okay. The View, they're like, oh my God, that's so great. You're going to run for president. You've said it forever. And I didn't think you'd actually run as a Republican. That's my best Joy Behar.
Well, he was a Democrat.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Up until about the mid-90s, he said. And the thing is that when he came in, he was more of a populist. This wasn't a guy who wanted to send us to a bunch of wars. He wasn't going to be rehearsed and polished. It was just the idea that he was going to say what he thought and felt. And that when you were like, okay, cool. We aren't going back to this era of Republicans that are stuffy and corporate and gross. Like, he's corporate because he's worth a lot of money, but like, he'll tell you something like a real person and you'll believe him.
Right.
Or we can go with Hillary Clinton, who called people a basket of deplorables, who's been in all these different skirmishes that are shrouded in controversy, who's sending emails off her own private or off her own personal server that involve government secrets. Like, I don't know. That's kind of hard to reckon with. And he won. The new era of Republicans has become more populist, less neocon. And the only thing about that I think that really hinders unity is that too many people still care about what the media and their favorite influencer thinks, as opposed to having conversations with someone who you might actually have a lot in common with. You might be on different sides of like the social aisle, but maybe financially, maybe just in your national pride, you may want to see this place do better. And I won't cut people out of my life because, and I say this right now, and I really do mean it. I got to vote for the first time since, actually, I voted twice in my life. I voted for Barack Obama the second time. We were like young. We were like,
right. We
were really young. I wasn't going to vote for Mitt Romney, which in retrospect, that was a lose-lose situation.
Who's the other one? Mike Huckabee?
Oh, dude, there was like Mike Huckabee. There was Rick Santorum. I'm pretty sure. There was a few others. And it ended up being Milquetoast Mitt Romney. God, he's gross. I say this though, and I got to vote today and it was really cool. And I care a lot about seeing my country do well. I want to be a pillar of what's possible for people. And I don't hate people's political beliefs. I can get snappy. I can get fiery. I might say what I mean and mean what I say, but like, I don't hate people because they're left-minded or even because they're right-minded.
Exactly.
I was working class Democrat kid.
For a long time.
Dude, you know how many still people who are working class union Democrats who will outwork most people? Yeah, he's union, isn't he?
Zach works for the city.
Yep.
And then the guy that moved in across the street from New York, he's a retired iron worker.
Yeah.
When he plopped that sign down, blew my mind.
Yeah.
But it speaks the facts. Like, I've talked to him. I don't think he's a terrible guy. You know, hardworking, retired guy, worked for the iron workers in New York which has got to be fucking hard in New York. And worked there for like 50 years, I think he said. So dude, we're just fucking regular people.
Yeah.
It's just the spin that the media puts on everything to make everyone seem like we're worse than we really are.
I blame the media for being like the fourth wall to be broken in terms of people finding unity. But again, you got to look at the people who are in government. You got to take,
without a doubt.
And what the Republican Party is turning into, because dude, I actually registered as an independent when I registered to vote this election. I wasn't gonna register as a Republican just because I was like, I don't see myself as a Republican. I'm a pro-American guy, and for me to say that I would never vote for a Democrat again, that's not true. If it's good, but I mean, Tulsi Gabbard recently joined the Republican Party. Vivek Ramaswamy is full of great ideas. You have J.D. Vance, who's young and who will be there to probably lead the next generation from everything that he learned to Donald Trump, who once had a very coarse opinion of the guy. You have so many good people that are over here, and it's like Mitch McConnell's retiring. That's incredible. Let's do that. Over here, yeah, you still have Nancy Pelosi. You still have Gavin Newsom. He's probably going to run for president. And everyone says he'll win someday. But if we can, I
think we need to put an age limit.
Oh, yeah, no, we do.
On the presidency.
No, we do.
No offense to, I know Donald Trump was talking on old Joe Rogan. He's like, everyone says age is a problem, but, I know an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old, and I think he's smarter now. That may be true, but
faculties aren't there, though.
Yeah, I think we need to have young, how old is Vivek?
Vivek?
Yeah.
Late 30s.
I don't think that would have been a bad option. I'm just going to say it.
What is VP?
Even as president.
No, and he could still have that opportunity. But
without a doubt.
The thing I like about Vivek is he seems like a real team player and he doesn't care about his ego.
Exactly. I'm saying somebody of that age group.
RFK's joined the ranks.
That's how it was supposed to be.
No, but most old people, very old people, they all need to be looking like RFK.
Facts.
Need to adopt the RFK lifestyle.
Which, that is my very favorite thing about the Trump campaign. Very favorite thing. Hands down, over taxes, over everything. Get the fucking chemicals out of our food.
Yeah.
There should not be so many chemicals that are illegal in Europe, legal here.
Yeah.
Just for the aspect of boosting sales. We don't need bread that I can keep in my house for a full month when I know people that will go over there and it'll be off the shelf within days after it's freshly made because it's bad. Fuck the preservatives, dude. Make everything fresh. Make everything healthy, right? That is one of the biggest issues in our country. When women are now, don't fact check me on this, but I was listening to a podcast and they were speaking about when a child is in the womb, depending on what the mother eats, that can lead to autism, that can lead to ADHD, it can lead to many, many things. And that's an issue, man. And a lot of people don't think about that. Dude, I am so fucking serious about that.
Yeah. And when we look at our childhood, it's kind of crazy because
why do you think I have fucking ADHD? I wouldn't wish this shit on my worst enemy.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time with you. I don't wish it on anyone.
Bro, dude, it's rough. It's rough.
And I get it.
trying to start and stop tasks over and over again. Like, holy
This
shit.
was, I mean, like, dude, look at like the marketing of like Prime and like everything Logan Paul does. And I'm not going to demonize Logan Paul. I will be honest and say, like, I don't like the guy. Great marketer. Maybe the best marketer of our generation. But like, look at Prime. Look at, you know what Lunchly is? Like, all these bright colors, and it's all this artificial shit that nobody should be eating, much less a kid. But that's how we were raised. And when we were younger, you know, it was the sugary cereals and it was the soda. And it was creating this culture of like, oh, let them be kids. And it's like, yeah, let them be kids, but like with limits, man. Well, like reintroduce discipline and education into the household and really just take charge of like being the example for your kids. Cause like, dude, you're a fit guy. I'm a pretty fit guy. I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect, but I don't eat like an asshole anymore.
No, I'm never gonna be perfect. And that's what drives me fucking crazy. I'll talk to people about health and they'll be like, oh, then they'll point out my flaws. I'm like, I'm not saying this to poke and prod at your faults here. I'm like, I'm just trying to educate you from the best of my abilities so you can have a longer, healthier life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand my faults. I am not a perfect person. Will never be. Proudly. But man, I do want to see you live longer. I do want to see it's not the problem is, Murph, it's add days, but more importantly, it's adding quality of days on our life. And when you can add days, but also add the quality of those days where you're actually doing something, bro, you made it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when people talk about cancer and want to go through like the cancer treatment and all that stuff. Like my grandma, she passed and she had cancer and she's like, they told me I could live an extra month. She's like, I'm not going to do it. She didn't want to she would rather be at home hanging out with all the family instead of quote unquote living an extra month under heinous conditions of chemotherapy.
Yeah.
She was 90 something years old, bro. What the fuck? That's not quality life. I get it. I get the whole idea of chemotherapy, but you know, that goes back to my point as just an example of the better we eat, the better our life, the better our health long term. And I don't think one side of this government cares about the American population.
I don't think so inherently. But I do look at Trump's little adventures over here. I'm like, I believe all those people really care.
Oh, they do.
And on some level, I believe that there are a lot of people on the left who care. And I don't agree with most of the people. The media, I think it's just out for the media, their ego. Like, real journalists are independent. Real journalists usually either get fired or quit the media. Like Chris Cuomo, I don't like the guy. I think you're a creep. There's a lot of things I'll never trust about you. I've enjoyed his little character arc.
Yeah.
He's saying some real shit. Good for you. Good for you. I will not trust you completely ever, but good for you. Anna Kasparian with the Young Turks, kind of based. She also formerly left the left, but like, she's like, you know, I got sexually assaulted in my neighborhood in LA when I was walking my dog by a homeless guy. And because I spoke up about it, like everyone started calling me a racist. And I never ever said the guy was black or anything. It was a white guy that fucking tried to sexually assault me.
Right.
But she doesn't endorse Trump. I need that. I really don't like Cenk Uyghur's opinions, but you know what? You're allowed to have those. And the thing, even though that is with the health and the fitness, it goes back to politics. Is like, all I can do is lead by example and hope that example is compelling, because I don't want to force my lifestyle on anybody. Yeah, we understand the good that comes with it, but like, person, just like helping them with a PSG, right? They have to be seeking education and knowledge.
1,000%.
Shines. What did I say about lighthouses on a foggy day?
Got a lot of shine.
The best lighthouses shine brightest on a foggy day.
Facts.
I'm going to put up the beacon, bat signal. You're either going to go fight crime or you're not. But don't walk around with I'm Batman energy without going out and doing Batman things. I know. I've done the research.
Boom. That's it.
Shit.
Well, you got any, before I close this fucker out, you got any, what's your bold prediction? It's not even bold.
So I made a YouTube video last Friday about what I thought the end of everything would be. And I guess I kind of queued that up with like the Joe Rogan episode that dropped that night. And I had it at 312 to 225, I think her final tally was.
You think he's going to win all the swing states?
If he doesn't, it'll be Michigan or Wisconsin or Nevada. I think he's going to take all of them. And the biggest reason, though, is because in Michigan, the Muslim population, the Middle Eastern population, the Arab American population, they really don't like the Biden-Harris administration. They're very pissed off.
Right.
And they're like coming out en masse to like say, hey, we're either going to vote no contest, vote third party, or straight up, we're going to vote for Donald Trump. That's tricky. And since we were kids, the last time Nevada went red was for W.
Oh, W.
W. Hey, as much as I hate you, kind of do a good impression of you. Oh, they thought you was a terrorizer? I was Cheney. Guy scares the crap out of me.
Oh, fuck.
My political impressions are actually like...
They are fucking spot on.
So I would imagine it's probably going to be somewhere... probably somewhere from like 287 to like 312 for Trump. And I think that immediately, like, people are going to start losing their shit.
I don't think so.
No, bro, at 4 years ago, upstairs, you're like, hey, maybe it won't be that bad. And what did I say? What did I say?
I don't remember. That's 4 years ago.
I said it's going to be that bad. Was I right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm telling you now. No matter if he wins, people are going to lose their shit. And there's probably going to be a lot of it that's staged for dramatic effect, and so the media has something to talk about. If he loses, people are still going to lose their shit. And a lot of it's probably going to be staged, so the media has something to talk about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, if she wins and it looks believable, which I'm sorry, like, ever since she started, and I won't go on and on and on, I will close out this point. Ever since she started going on these little media tours of hers, she has just looked worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. She's not charming. She's not a good speaker. She doesn't have original ideas. She doesn't have any kind of practical way of explaining her ideas to people. Her 4 years versus Donald Trump's 4 years. She won't distance herself from Joe Biden. No one cares what celebrities think anymore. You are backed by literally every corporate interest that the freaking neocons that I have reaped on the entire conversation tonight. That same money is now flowing into you. It is not believable if she wins, but if it is something so contested, like, it would have to be like Georgia flips, which right now the margin looks like Donald Trump's going to win it. It would have to look so staged and so fake that people would have to like really go do something. Otherwise, I just think in most cases people are going to lose their shit. And I don't want, no matter who I want to win, I don't want people to get hurt.
Exactly.
And I don't want people to do anything stupid, and I don't want people to cheat. If we could all just be like, hey, cast a vote. We're going to trust the system to do what the system does. Probably fuck us. Let's just be people again. Death taxes and the system's going to fuck you. And general admission is a fucking scam.
There it is. Guys, I'm glad to be back. Finally, Murph started doing his job again. I'm just kidding.
Go fuck yourself.
Anyways, it was a fucking thrilling first episode back, guys. Love you guys. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Adios.
Make politicians afraid again.